excellent secondary. Good cover corners.
Killam's kickoff, and running up to field it at the 6-yard line is Iowa. And it's Kaleb Johnson over the 25, and down he goes. We haven't seen Reganey coming into the game on the first snap, but we see movement across the line. Well, that's something that Iowa does not do, with only 3 penalties per game for 20 yards per game, some of the best numbers in the country. On 2nd and 14, and Petrus looks flushed from the pocket. Petrus will run, and he's drilled out of bounds. 3rd and 12.
Sitting in the zone.
And here comes pressure from Elijah Winston, and a pass is caught. Petrus throws the ball, and it's Arlen Bruce.
And boy, it was perfect throw.
Drew Watts diving for the ball, almost deflected it, but was unable to do so, and the pass found Arlen Bruce. Laporta and tight end in motion. And inside, James Hansen wraps up Gavin Williams. It's 3rd down and 7 for Iowa. Petrus completed a long pass to Arlen Bruce on 3rd down a moment ago, but he's got nowhere to go under pressure from Drew Watts. And Mike Bethea, the defensive coordinator that you mentioned a moment ago, Matt, he and Nevada's defense engineer a stand on their first time on the field in tonight's game. And 2nd in the nation in punting, Torrey Taylor at 49 yards a kick. Got all of that one.
Who's an excellent linebacker, nobody even talks about, but Lucas Van Ness, we mentioned him earlier. Yeah, that's a legit player. Interesting that they started a different quarterback than what we watched on television, what we watched on the film this past week.
Yeah, Shane Illingworth, who started the first 2 games at quarterback, will start tonight. It was Nate Cox who started the last game against Incarnate Word, the tallest quarterback. And Illingworth in the gun on 3rd down and 2. And a quick throw comes out, and Cooper DeJean not far away from a pick 6.
Just a great athlete.
Defensive coordinator Phil Parker told us yesterday that Cooper DeJean could play 4 different positions: corner, free safety, strong safety, and the cash position on Iowa's defense. Arlen Bruce is going to watch that punt bounce. The 2nd series of the game for Iowa's offense, and Petrus, Reganey's in the game with a quick slant, goes to Sam Laporta. Got to look at Brian Ferentz, the offensive coordinator. And here is Petrus handing the ball off and driving and legs churning, and the pile pushed forward a little bit. Quick rollout and throw. And an on-time, on-target throw. Gavin Williams. Oh, hit hard. But a punishing hit delivered to Gavin Williams, which will leave Iowa in a 3rd and short. Ball comes out quickly and incomplete. Keegan Johnson, the intended receiver. When we talked to head coach Ken Wilson of Nevada earlier this week, he talked about some of the ups and downs for the team this year. The biggest plus he pointed out was the play of their secondary. And the special teams for Iowa always very, very good against South Dakota State, and 2 block punts last week for Lucas Van Ness. And from the 3-yard line, this is bad news. Devontae Lee back to the 2. Toatawa in the end zone takes the handoff, ran out of a tackle by Sept Benson. Illingworth. Ball comes out quickly, pass complete. Excellent tackle is made, an excellent tackle that he had all of last year for Nevada when he had 14. But that left him short of the 1st down, and Matt Frame is punting from his end zone, and it's fielded, no fair catch, and Arlen Bruce is still on his feet. He ran out of 2 tackles and a big block. Gavin Williams, a running back, picks up a blitz, and Petrus is throwing the home run ball and going for the over-the-shoulder catch. It's incomplete. He's a transfer from Wake Forest in his 2nd year now playing for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, they're just challenging him, just walking right up on him, saying, go ahead, beat me if you can, and they haven't.
And Kaleb Johnson is running and makes a player miss and into the defensive backfield and bounces off a tackle and sprints for the sideline and sprints for the goal line, but he's in. Touchdown. Looked like he might have stepped out, but he stayed in. Now, Aaron Blom has been the kicker so far this year, but Drew Stevens, remember, Blom missed a field goal that would have sent it to overtime last week. The kickoff by Stevens.
And then get his 6.
He's got to look at Kirk Ferentz, his 291st game as head coach of the Hawkeyes tonight. Devontae Lee running the football. He told us they can play with tempo, or at least give the appearance of doing so, to stress the defense. They ended up waiting a while before the snap, and the defense is set. And both running backs who are featured for Nevada are in the game, and it's Tawa, 3,332 rushing yards in his Nevada career. Frank Hawkins ran for over 5,300 yards to be Nevada's all-time leading rusher. Number 2 is Tawa, the older brother of Tawa, who's the running backs coach. Illingworth under pressure and throws the ball away, and they're going to say this is an interception along the sideline for Iowa. And Iowa's best in the nation turnover margin, that is, will drop from +9 to +8. Arnie Pottebaum is the fullback. Petrus drops back, markers down, deep ball, contested catch, incomplete, flag down there.
Looks like Kaleb Johnson's walking a
There
little
are 2 fouls on the play,
there.
1 against each team. Holding, offense, number 67. Pass interference, defense, number 2. Those fouls offset, replay, 2nd down.
Here's the pass interference on Assisima.
Yeah, well,
Kaleb Johnson is in the game. He had the 40-yard sprint for touchdown a moment ago, and here is a laser pass and a flag down. Nico Reganey was the intended receiver on Petrus's pass.
Pass interference, defense, number 20. Spot foul, ball be placed at the spot of the foul, 1st down.
yeah.
And it gives them experience in a very young room, the wide receiver room.
One-on-one up top.
They'll run it. Kaleb Johnson. 3rd in Nevada history, Peterson is in quarterback sacks and tackles for loss. Johnson. They've moved 20 yards so far on the drive. Arlen Bruce in motion. And a good block, and then Petrus throws it to the motion man. Arlen Bruce diving in the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. Pretty ball, better catch. Hawkeyes extend the lead. Extra point, Drew Stevens. Good throwing lane for Spencer Petrus because Gavin Williams had the cut block on Thomas Whitty, the defensive lineman.
Yeah, they picked up the stunt really well. They dropped the coverage, but it was really well conceived.
Well, it has really helped Iowa. The field position game so important, and they've had a short field to work with. Their punter really aided them in terms of setting up the first short field, and then the Cooper DeJean interception, of course, poised them for the second. Nothing. Iowa over Nevada after a quarter play. 2nd and 5 from the 30-yard line for Nevada. Shane Illingworth started tonight at quarterback and bounces in a throw that was intended for B.J. Castile.
Iowa has always been well coached. They always do the little things wrong. It may take time to get there, but they get there.
And getting there this time is Lucas Van Ness.
I talked to him yesterday, and I said, "You're still growing." And he goes, "Yeah, I didn't get in the armpit hair until I was a freshman last year."
I can vouch, he really did say that.
It's like, what kind of kid says that?
Here's the punt by Freem. A big roll here. Well, the story on the 2 touchdown drives was really good field position for Iowa. This year, Matt Freem for Nevada's had a 70-yard punt. That one was 66, and that's why the Hawkeyes are at the 6, but they're trying to get out of trouble quickly with a long throw down the right sideline. Safeties are too. They had a blown coverage on the last Iowa touchdown. But the strength of the team for Nevada is their secondary. And the strength of Iowa at that moment from Council Bluffs, Iowa, making his 3rd start. And big shoes to fill, of course, from Tyler Linderbaum. Another big hole and a hard hit. Gavin Williams was the number 2 man last year behind Tyler Goodson. And it's really helped Iowa's offense, as you see, to have him.
Game like this with this offensive line right now coming off the ball pretty darn well.
By virtue of being able to run it, they move from the 6 to the 35. Petrus, that is, did well to elude pressure. When you're learning new things, the reality is the difficult moments will be part of that. But the difficult moments, for the most part, have not manifested themselves tonight, as the Hawkeye offense has moved crisply to score twice, and this drive has already covered almost 40 yards, and they're looking for way more than 40 yards on one play. And they'll look to move the the chains on a third down. They've converted half their third downs tonight. Petras under pressure, but he finds a wide open receiver on the wheel route, Gavin Williams. And Williams makes a man miss. Tyson Williams is the player who missed in space. And that's 32 yards on the wheel route to Gavin Williams. Now Kaleb Johnson, who has a rushing touchdown tonight of 40 yards, sprints for the sideline.
Just a matter of time of gelling.
Important to note, Matt, the offensive line collectively, the 5 offensive linemen, only 42 total starts. He's moved in motion across the formation. And this is third down, and Petras is throwing it in Regani's direction and tries to drop it in the bucket.
Nice job by Petras.
And so from North Augusta, South Carolina, kickoff. It's a touchback, and putting up big numbers again tonight. Nevada looking for something positive to happen. And they start out at the 25. Joe Evans, a tackle of Toa on a short run. There's Shane Illingworth, who is the starter tonight at quarterback for the third time out of 4 games this year.
So with 9 minutes left in the second quarter, they have a grand total of 31 yards, which just tells you what this Iowa defense has been able to do tonight.
Meanwhile, Iowa's offense already has 178 yards. They average 158 a game. So they looked very good tonight, as there's a low throw to Spencer Curtis. It is caught, though, at the 31-yard line. Short gain, third down coming up. And already, Matt, with 3 tackles tonight, put him at over 200 for his career. At Iowa, he led FBS last year with 143 tackles. Illingworth hit as he throws, and he stayed in, took the hit, and completed the pass to Jacob Monroe, the tight end, who was blasted by Quinn Schulte, but hung onto the ball, and it's a first down for Nevada.
Really well done by Illingworth. He's staying right there. He knows he's going to get hit. The ball, and he led him perfectly. Schulte comes up and makes a tackle immediately, but that's really well done by Illingworth.
Illingworth got hit by John Wagner.
92.
Wolfpack ball at their own 41.
They walked up when these guys are dropping their safety. It looks like it's in man coverage here.
To the right side, Toa lowers his head. Man, what a collision.
Yeah, Merriweather did a really nice job coming up there in coverage. Great job, and nice tackle as well.
Senior safety Kayvon Merriweather.
Yeah, that's a big, powerful kid, right? He runs behind his pads really well. Just you kind of like the toughness.
Devontae Lee is in the game now at running back. Long pass by Illingworth on the back shoulder fade. Third down and 8 for the Wolfpack. Jamal Bell was in motion. Joe Evans times the snap count perfectly. Well, the drive noted by some of the pressure that Iowa applied on Shane Illingworth. He stayed in on a third down previously and converted. Took a big hit to convert, but that time the pressure forced the quick pass. Matt Freem looking for another big boot. He had a 66-yard punt earlier. This is Bruce with a lot of space to run. He fielded it at the 10 and off to the races. And he will easily pick up over 25 yards on the return.
Football in 60 is presented by Rocket Mortgage. For the playbook on home loans, Rocket can.
And we'll show you the excellent return that Arlen Bruce had that went for 25 yards after Gavin Williams runs the ball on first down and picks up 5.
He's right there in your screen, and he knows he can't pick him off, so he raises his hands and shields them. And that little shield gave him another 20 yards on that return. That's an excellent job.
Special teams, always such an important component of the success that Iowa has. Reggie Bracey, the player who had that block, he picked up the block punt, the first block punt of the game last week. There's a rolling throw by Petras, followed by Keegan Johnson. His return to action for Iowa tonight, his first game action of 2022.
I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I like the fact that they're moving him in the pocket. They're not sitting him in one space. Brian Ferentz is calling a really nice game. He's trying to work Keegan Johnson back into the thing, get him in slow, and use your speed. Just Well done.
Both plays have gone for 4 yards so far. And on 3rd and 2, Williams, this is another 4-yard run, which is what they needed and a little more. Williams has 11 carries in the game. Kaleb Johnson has 4. And he's in the game right now. We have not seen LaShawn Williams tonight, who is the feature back in the first 2 games. An underneath throw to the running back, Kaleb Johnson. And Johnson spins off a tackle to the Nevada 46.
Yeah, so everybody who is out there and saying Spencer Petras can't play, Spencer Petras this, Spencer Petras that, look, take a break. Look, this is the way it's supposed to look right now, right? And so you're sitting at home, you go, well, yeah, it's Nevada, you should. No, it's not. That's not the way it works. Because there's some guys who can put some pressure on here. But right now, they have a good balance. Outside throws, you're running the football, you're getting good protection, your offensive line's playing well. Petras can run this machine.
Fake a handoff, fake an end around, and a deep ball by Petras. And Petras with an incomplete pass, just could not connect with Brody Brecht.
That's a great throw. Where it had to be to the outside. Brecht looked to the inside over his inside shoulder. He should have looked to the outside if he needed to trace that ball. But that's a good throw. He's following all the way through. Just track it. Yeah. He'd like that one back.
When we talked to Brian Ferentz about Spencer Petras yesterday, he said he keeps buying into what we ask him to do. Our goal is to keep him in the fight long enough to land a couple of punches. And if we can do that, then he can build on it. And he's landed some punches tonight. And here is a bullet throw on the tunnel screen coming inside his arm, and Bruce, first down. Another 3rd down conversion. Iowa's had multiple 3rd down conversions tonight. This one to the Nevada 38.
And a nice call. I like the call a lot. You see it? He anticipated pressure. You go to the outside. Just throwing a nice, like you said, it's a tunnel screen. Get underneath, get the lineman outside. Pick up that first down and keep it rolling.
Was tackled by Naki Matialona, who had a targeting penalty in the first half against Incarnate Word last week. There is a timeout on the field now with 4:07 remaining in the 2nd quarter.
He wanted to get that one joke right.
Petras, another deep ball. No, this time he'll go down. And Naki Matialona got home on the quarterback, Petras, and a sack to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, that's just they're bringing numbers to his side, right? That's exactly what you do. You got 3 guys blocking. We're going to bring 4. And so here they come. So they come with a slant, right? So they're going to get to that top side, and they just bring too many. And they can't pick it up. And this is one of those things that this offensive line will get better at when they start to see it. Because this is still a copycat league. Trust me, if you see it this week, you're going to see it next week.
You know, even with the youth and inexperience of the offensive line, they've only allowed 4 sacks now this year. With that one, that was a loss of 7, and a dump off and another loss. A pass complete to Gavin Williams, but wrapped up in the backfield from Encino, California. That's Christopher Love who made the tackle.
Yeah, he gave a little bit of love right there. Did a nice job of waiting on it. He saw it, he read it, and then all you need is love, right?
All you need is love.
Dun, 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 dun. All you need is love. Love.
I mean, what says love like hugging? Like hugging.
He hugged him. He just gave a nice hug right there.
It's a loss of 5 yards to midfield. And this drive has come unglued here with 2 straight negative plays. And Matialona made a critical ankle tackle of Gavin Williams at the 45-yard line.
Matialona doesn't make that. He's got a lot of green out there. Really well done. They're going to see him drop down and start this thing. You're going to see him drop down. Now you've got to make a play. Get off the block. He does a good job of getting off the block, the center. Without that, he has a chance to be able to skate to his left and come up with something big.
Bentley Sanders is back for the Torrey Taylor punt. He's had a touchback, and he's pinned him at the 3-yard line tonight on his 2 previous punts.
Another one.
And this one will be down at the 2 on Big Ten Network. Crowd's going to get a lot louder here with Nevada in the shadow of their own goalpost, and I think this will be forward progress for Toa Taua. Now it's a negative play, but it's forward progress back to the 1 before he's driven back into the end zone. No safety. Remember that Iowa already has 2 this year.
Well, he ran into Van Ness, the 6'5", 280-pound man-child. And he's a talented guy. You know what? He's got the best hips. Now, you coaches out there, this kid's got the best hips I've seen. They are just natural.
2nd and 11 for the 1. And this is a keeper for Illingworth, and a big hit by Joe Evans. But breathing room for Nevada up to the 4-yard line.
Joe Evans does a nice job of turning that thing back. And watch him, number 13. From the backside. Oh, just missed him. Merriweather had a chance. Evans makes a tackle inside, but did a good job on the front side to make him turn back to the inside.
Timeout taken by the Hawkeyes. This ball is at the 5-yard line. On 3rd down, and a running play, and Devontae Lee, and Lee stays on his feet. Boy, he is like a bowling ball off pins. Terry Roberts couldn't bring it down, and Lee outside the 20-yard line.
That looks like an old Frank Hawkins run.
Wow.
Nice job, good balance, good power on the inside. Ran through a couple of tackles right here, right? And then get to the next level, lowers his pads and keeps on churning. Excellent job.
Well, Devontae Lee and Toa Tawa in their time in Nevada each have 25 rushing touchdowns in their collegiate careers for the Wolfpack. That was just a first down to avoid having to punt from their own end zone. Now nowhere to go. John Wagner among others.
Joe Evans, 6'2", 245 pounds, just a good football player.
From Ames, 14 career sacks, part of a tackle for loss. And nowhere to go here on a short 2nd down run. A timeout taken with 21 seconds left. 3rd and 10. Nevada has not been shut out in the first half this year, but that is what presumably is about to happen. Toa Tawa, down he goes. And Iowa uses another timeout, and Matt coming off a game last week where you blocked 2 punts. Yeah, Arlen Bruce has had a 25-yard return time. Might be able to get him in field goal range if he does something special.
Average punt, but it'll be covered.
Yeah, the roll will prevent Arlen Bruce from getting anywhere near it. And it's down to the 30-yard line.
And this Nevada team is not a bunch of stiffs. They got some pretty good players here.
Just a lot of new players.
New players. And you know what? Like I mentioned earlier, this Iowa team, they're a work in progress.
And Drew Stevens will kick off for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Return, bobbled. Bell turns and picks the ball up. And squeezes through a couple of holes. And all of a sudden, this is going to turn into something promising. But he's run down from behind by Reggie Bracey.
Takes that little fumble in the front end and turns it into a big return. Bracey with 2 big plays tonight.
35-yard line, Bracey's tackle after Jamal Bell bobbled the ball on the kick return, but ended up giving Nevada a nice field position. Shane Illingworth started tonight at quarterback. 3rd start of the year, zips it out to the right side, and Toa Tawa caught it, and Tawa picks up 7.
And he got to his 4th read on that. That was really well done by Lincoln because he started to his left and came all the way across and got to his outlet. Really well done.
Offensive line able to give Illingworth a pocket in which to make all those reads and ultimately check it down to Tawa. Now Tawa runs, bounces off the tackle to the outside and around the 1st down near the 45-yard line before being tackled by Terry Roberts.
Toa Tawa is, we've said it all through the first half. He's just a powerful kid. Low center of gravity. He's got good feet. He's tough to bring down.
Tempo offense here on 3rd and short. And Tawa tough enough to break down to allow him to search over the 45 and pick up a 1st down.
Good strong run right there. He got under Quinn Schulte. He was able to pick up that 1st down.
And Tawa has the first 11 yards of the second half for Nevada. And just their 4th first down of the game.
They're spreading them out. They're just giving themselves a five-man box, and they're running into it. Now they're dropping a safety down to give us extra.
This time out of the backfield, Devontae Lee. And Lee, you see that he just doesn't run over people. He's able to make a couple of moves in space and up to midfield as we go down to Megan McEwen on the field. Megan.
Nevada head coach Ken Wilson said that in order to get the offense going, he needs his line to block better to give his quarterback some more time to throw. He also hopes to get the running game going, because once he gets the run game going, that's just going to open up the pass game more for the Wolfpack.
And the Wolfpack right on the 50-yard line. Lee running, hit by Sept among others, about 3 yards short of the first down. You know, Matt, it was interesting hearing Megan talk about Ken Wilson. He's a Nevada lifer. After growing up in Illinois and growing up a Fighting Illini fan in Big Ten country, he went to Nevada, met his wife on his job interview for his first full-time assistant coaching job, and was there from 1989 to 2012 before going to assistant coaching jobs with Washington State and Oregon.
We better hope that he did a good job of coaching the third down, because they're in it right now.
This is his first head coaching job, and on third down, batted down pass on Illingworth's attempt. And 1 first down picked up. Nevada's drive fizzles out. And Frame has got a chance to pin Iowa. Fair catch by Arlen Bruce at the 9-yard line. For his career going into this season, he was about a 57% passer. 9 of 16 tonight for Petrus. 104 yards and a touchdown. Difficult spot here for Iowa starting at the 9. Gavin Williams is cut down in space on a tackle by Maurice Wilner at linebacker.
Wilner did a really good, that's a really good job. He gave him a two-way go. By that I mean you come down in a tackle, and if you come out head to head, right in the middle of the man, that's where you do not want to be. You want to be on an angle inside out or outside in. But he gave him a two-way go and still made the tackle. Well done.
A run for 5 yards. Ball comes out quickly. And Petrus has thrown it in Brody Brecht's direction a couple of times tonight, and unsuccessfully was able to complete a pass, but this time he does find Brecht for his first catch of the game.
Brecht got to know where that stick is. You don't want to be short of it. So now they're 3rd and 1 here. Let's see if this offensive line can just get physical right here and make a play. Conversely, let's watch his defensive front, see who wins up front.
On 3rd and short, and it may be Nevada's defense that wins up front.
Looks like it. Nice job inside. Did a good job with leverage. Remember I said you can't play football without leverage. Might have been Love.
Deion Washington, number 92, who's holding up the fist for 4th down, was part of it as well.
Just a nice job of coming off the ball. See, they win. You're winning right there. The line of scrimmage, nothing is being moved to the right. That defensive front held everybody and then disengaged and shut them down on that 3rd down. Well done.
Bentley Sanders back deep to receive. Iowa trying to turn around the field position here after they go 9 yards from their 9 out to the 18. Again, 2nd in the nation this year, averaging 49 yards per punt. Torrey Taylor. Sanders made a difficult catch.
Lightning has been observed within 8 miles of the stadium. We will suspend the game until weather clears the area.
Football in 60 is presented by Rocket Mortgage. For the playbook on home loans, Rocket can.
Up-tempo offense here, so a quick snap. The flag comes in on Devontae Lee's run. He ran out of an ankle tackle by Joe Evans and ultimately was brought down by Cooper DeJean, who had a first-half interception. There is a penalty on this play.
Cooper DeJean had himself an excellent first half. He really played well.
Responsible for the game's only turnover.
Holding. Offense. Number 70. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The call on Isaiah World, redshirt freshman tackle from San Diego. And that will move Nevada back into their own end of the field.
3 downs to pick up 20 yards. Let's see what the Hawkeyes give him here defensively. Looks like they're going to drop that safety down.
Hole opens up for Lee. And Lee driving back near the initial line of scrimmage before being pushed down by Kayvon Merriweather and Quinn Schulte.
Nicely done by that offensive line. Give him some blocks up to that second level. He picks up 11 yards. That's a nice, 9 yards. That's a nice run on the first down.
With tempo, Illingworth the pass, and it's caught by Davon Campbell. And they've gained a big chunk of yardage to the Iowa 35. A manageable third down now as they recover for the holding call on first down.
This looks like a different team coming out of this break, because they're running the line of scrimmage very well, and they're taking what the defense gives them on the outside. Let's see what happens here in this third short. Let's see if Iowa doesn't jump up on top.
Well, they brought Nate Cox into the game at quarterback as well. The 6'9" quarterback. Cox is a capable runner. We'll see if they go RPO. Now he'll hand it off, and Toa stopped short of the first down.
Campbell jumped in. He was hit initially, and then Campbell came to the rescue and stopped that thing fast.
And there is a window before more weather is expected.
So you got to tighten your coverage up on the top side. They're not.
4th and 2. And Cox, the quarterback, keeps it to the edge. Knocked out of bounds right at the marker.
He's short, and that's by DeJean. Ooh. Oh, he looks like he's going to give it to him. That foot is right there. It's a first down.
First down for Nevada. They convert on 4th and 2.
DeJean comes up from the backside. Watch this, a nice hit. Let's see. Boom, right there. Well, it may be where the ball was, but his foot was not to the mark.
You know, we talked about Nate Cox's running ability with head coach Ken Wilson earlier this week. Coach Ken Wilson said, I think I care more about Nate's body than he does, and we saw his willingness to put his body out on the line, the 6'9" quarterback on that run.
Yeah, they stop the clock here. They're going to look at this, I think.
Timeout's been called. Shane Illingworth is back in the game now for the Wolfpack. And a play fake, and under pressure, flag is down. Sack is made back at the 40-yard line by Lucas Van Ness.
Van Ness has been playing well all night long. He's making some tackles, and he was in on a sack, but he's making plays. By that I mean so he might do a lot of the little things that you don't see that allows somebody else to make the tackle, but he makes the play.
Personal foul, hands in the face, offense, number 55. The penalty is declined. Second down.
There's going to be a loss on the play back to the 40-yard line.
Oh, yeah, he got him pretty good. They're playing Van Ness. He looks like a natural left end. He's playing inside tackle. He plays up and down that line, though. Multiple positions.
Officially a loss of 6. Jamal Bell was in motion. And a delay handoff in trouble for Lee. And to the outside, and Van Ness and Wagner. John Wagner and Lucas Van Ness double up on the tackle, and another big loss for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, that was Wagner. Wagner did a great job. Van Ness just came in for the cleanup, but Wagner did a nice job of disengaging off that block. Really well done. Gets to the outside and just runs him down. Well done.
And there has been lightning again. And so approximately, exactly as a matter of fact, 4.5 minutes of game time was played. And after restarting 8 minutes ago.
This is hard to do when you're stopping and starting as a player.
Sure. A resuming play after a 1 hour and 50-minute delay with a 3rd and 22 and an incomplete pass on 3rd and 22 for the Iowa 44, looking for Toa. There's some movement up front before the snap. And play stops. And you might have heard some oohs and ahs because I could have sworn I saw another flash of lightning.
hoping that that was just a picture somebody was trying to take.
That's just a very, very bright flashball.
Offside. Defense. Number 91. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
4th and 17 is the 4th down upcoming for Nevada. However, what this is going to do is
give him a shot at a field goal.
Well, the first big field goal that Brandon Talton made as a freshman was at home against Purdue, a 56-yard game winner at the buzzer. After the game, he went from walk-on to on scholarship.
Now this is 1 yard more. Let's see if he's got it.
57 yards.
And they're walking off the field again. Yeah, they're taking them in.
The players are staying out, but some of the Nevada players are starting to head back to the locker room.
I don't know how many times you can do this.
One play. And Nevada players are starting to head back. That's Ken Wilson, the head coach of Nevada. First year as the head coach. We were about to see a 57-yard field goal try. It would appear that that is not going to happen. With 5:24 left in the 3rd quarter, Brandon Talton's career long was a 56-yard game winner. In 2019, home against Purdue, he's made 5 field goals in his career from 50-plus yards, and this one is no good. He had multiple attempts at it during the warm-up period. Most of them were short. That appeared to have the leg, but it was wide right.
Let's see if they go back to this run game, and let's see if Nevada doesn't drop a guy down and create some. Here they come with the blitz.
And Spencer Petras in quarterback. He's thrown a touchdown tonight, and he is going for a home run ball to Nico Reganey. And in front of him, it was Jaden Devin, but Reganey caught it.
What a catch! He stole it out of his hands. That is a phenomenal effort. Watch this. All the way through. There's the pick. There's the steal. There's the catch.
At the 15-yard line of Nevada.
That is just awesome by Reganey. Now think about that. He hardly even practiced this week, and he's out here for this point in the game. That's phenomenal.
His first game, his first catch of the year. Gavin Williams on a running play on 1st down. Well, good things come to those who wait. That's the old saying, Matt. And it has been 4 hours and 10 minutes approximately since Iowa snapped the ball on offense. And you get that, a long bomb to Nico Reganey.
I mean, I love the call. That is a great call to come out. But Nico Reganey, he's coming off an injury, and he's playing here in the, he played yesterday and today.
A 46-yard pass play, which is the longest play from scrimmage for Iowa this season. To throw Petras on 2nd down in trouble and sacked by Dom Peterson.
That's a second consecutive play Peterson has made. He just made that tackle on the 1st down and a sack here on the 2nd down. He's rolling. Peterson's a big, powerful kid, right? Oh, they just missed him. He tried to tackle him as well. Took an inside rush, and Peterson just had too much going for him. Yeah, Petras had no time whatsoever, even to throw it away. Going to set up this 3rd and 18.
Right past Bo Stevens in right guard on the rush by Dom Peterson, who will add to his Nevada sack total. Now 26, 3rd most in Wolfpack football history. Petras on 3rd and a long way. The screen to Gavin Williams. And Williams picks up the yardage that was lost on the sack. And back to the 15-yard line, setting up a field goal attempt. Thomas Whitty with the tackle.
I like this call. If he could have jumped it back a little bit back to the inside, but he had good pursuit from inside out by that Nevada defense.
Tonight, Drew Stevens has been handling the field goals and the PATs for Iowa after Aaron Blom went 1 for 3 in the first 2 games of the year. including the miss at the end of the game last week. He's made one from 43 yards tonight and made both extra points from 33 to extend the lead, and he does.
Drilled that.
And that put them in position for what was ultimately a 33-yard Drew Stevens field goal, and then a kickoff by Stevens through the end zone for a touchback. In the nation at 16.5 points per game allowed. A running play as Nevada will start this drive at the 25. And the experience of players like that, the big reason why Iowa's defense has been a well-oiled machine at the beginning of the year. And here's a sack. And they've only permitted 2 drives by Nevada to even reach Hawkeyes territory. Campbell coming on the blitz. It's picked up. Now Campbell fighting through, and another sack for Iowa. Matt Freem has had a 66-yard punt tonight, averaging about 47 yards per kick in this game. And backpedaling. Difficult catch made by Arlen Bruce. And Bruce is out of bounds. First touchdown of the game was scored by Kaleb Johnson, who's at running back right now. That first touchdown was a long time ago. And using a stiff arm to try to fight off Dom Peterson. 48 career tackles for loss. That was a loss of 1, and a batted down pass here. Isaiah Asisima knocks down the pass. 105 receptions. Another excellent tight end here at Iowa City. To throw, Petrus, and a bobble by Laporta, and incomplete.
A ton of popcorn.
When you've had 4 hours worth of weather delays and the concession stands are presumably closed, that's how you manage. You have that size of a bag of popcorn. This is
Great effort.
yeah, quite impressive. A quick throw by Shane Illingworth and wide of the intended target on 2nd and 10.
There were dangerous levels of smoke that forced them to have to go indoors. So they've dealt with a lot headed into this ball game.
That they have. Going into play this weekend, Iowa 6th in the nation in total defense. They blocked 2 punts last week, and I don't know how that wasn't a third. There are markers down. Arlen Bruce has fielded the punts. Great effort. Broken a couple of tackles and has made a return out near midfield.
Running into the kicker. Defense, number 12.
Whoever is in control of the volume on the effects mic. An underneath throw caught. Had an interception in the first quarter of the game that set up the second touchdown. As pressure on Illingworth, and he just throws up a pop fly. And this one's intercepted by Terry Roberts. An interception for the 2nd straight game. And this one is going to be a pick 6.
It's going to come back.
Markers down on the far side of the field near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they jumped. It's going to be offsides on the defense.
Offensive player number 69 must leave the game for 1 play due to his helmet coming off.
Averaging only 3 penalties per game this season for 20 penalty yards in the first 2 games. Toa Taua runs the ball.
And their coverage. Playing his own.
Illingworth rolling. About to run out of real estate. Throws the ball before he runs out of room. Bruce got a touchdown yesterday.
Lousy punt.
Here's the kick by Freem. Kaleb Johnson is a running back. And Kaleb Johnson's hit in the backfield and driven backwards. Thomas Whitty. Quick throw by Petrus. Bentley Sanders with a big hit after Laporta in FBS and interceptions. Led to turnovers forced, a turnover margin as well. And Nico Reganey, who's on the highlight reel after a 46-yard sensational catch right after the 3rd weather delay ended. And also a receiver that Spencer Petrus has trust in with 91 career catches in his time with the Hawkeyes. Gavin Williams a running play. Just 2 carries against Iowa State last week. Roll out and Petrus. And Petrus throws it on the money. Nico Reganey, the ruling is incomplete. After 25% of the first 2 games on 3rd downs, Iowa is 6 of 14. Long of 62 tonight for Tory Taylor.
Nice punt.
Which is what you expect from one of the absolute best in the nation at that position.
Got a little rig guy in him. It's one of the things they emphasize, and they get it. They practice it that way, and that's what they do.
Running play for Devontae Lee. second down. Illingworth with a long throw. There's DeGene. Broke up a pass. West Central Iowa, population 994.
He's coming on a blitz.
It's picked up by Toa Tawa. There's been some rotation up on the defensive line for Iowa post-third weather delay, but as you saw going off the field, Jack Campbell still anchoring the linebacker unit. Poor punt here by Frame. It's going to roll, though. And it will be down to the 45-yard line of the Hawkeyes. Iowa in front 20-0, and a big hole here. Kaleb Johnson has had one long touchdown run tonight, and now he has two. Well, there have been some familiar faces that have come back and helped the cause tonight for Iowa. These are the things that cross your brain and cross your mind at 1:25 in the morning. You know, they felt like they had a plan, by the way. Ken Wilson was with the staff at Oregon last year as a running play here for Nevada for Toa Tawa. Oh, wow, Tawa still on his feet. And unfortunately, when you have what's occurred tonight, all of those plans that you put in place just go right out the window. Here's the tunnel screen. Illingworth for the 39. And Jamal Bell goes down low to catch it.
It's a free play right here.
And it's a throw down the sideline and a rope thrown. Caught only 6 passes in 3 years playing for the Fighting Illini. Had 4 for the season coming into play tonight.
Oh, great play.
Toa Tawa. Incomplete. Illingworth over Devontae Lee. Getting in tonight for the Hawkeyes on defense. Max Llewellyn's made some plays here after the last rain delay, and the game has finally sustained being able to be played to presumably its conclusion. Seen the turnover tried in a lot this year, as we noted earlier, with 11 turnovers forced this year, but hasn't been one tonight for Nevada. Iowa's brought Jayceon Patterson into the game to run the ball here.
Grind that down your throat.
What is the weight on that popcorn bag, I wonder?
Oh, nice run.
As part of that. Patterson running again. They had 316 combined in the first 2 games.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. They're just going to grind it out.
Iowa up to 334 yards tonight. Well, Petras will roll and throw it, and it's incomplete. Fair catch made at the 13-yard line. Oh, it's a team game. The defense gave up a touchdown in the second half, and instead of, we had not given up any points, we would have won the game that Iowa State had last week. Cross Patton is in the game, and down he goes. At least one more snap. That's where Ken Wilson was the defensive coordinator, co-defensive coordinator.
Kirk Ferentz, one of the best coaches in this Big Ten Conference. Every year they're well coached. Every year they're in the middle of something.
4th all-time in Big Ten coaching victories, Kirk Ferentz, and is 40 seconds away from adding another one to the total, with Wesley Comer running the ball for Nevada.
I thought offensively, I thought the offensive line played a little better. They still have work to do. I thought Petras played pretty well. I thought a couple of guys dropped some balls. Balls were where they needed to be. And I think no need to panic yet in Iowa land.
Wesley Comer running it on the last play of the game. This game kicked off 6 hours and 59 minutes ago. The best thing out of 3 weather delays and the resumption of play is that the game has completed, and with all of the starting and stopping, it appears everybody got out of it healthy. There doesn't appear to be any sort of injury that's related to the unusual circumstances of the game tonight.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.